This is Brad with Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm here with The Q and Mark Myers. And what? Oh.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
That was Mark Myers, folks. And Doc Denver on the boards. He's
Won't
controlling
you
the
be-
sound. Don't touch your dial.
Please, won't you be my neighbor?
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
I'll take that.
All right.
It's podcast 28. Well, we were at the theater and we saw Suicide Squad.
And none of us committed suicide.
That's right. And we didn't spoil anything. Well, that's going to change, folks. We all saw it and we loved it and hated it, and we're going to talk all about
Wait,
it.
who hated it?
Huh?
Who hated it?
The critics, gosh darn it.
Oh, well, they hate everything because it has that DC logo on it.
Right. And their pills are too big and water isn't good enough for them.
Exactly.
All right. So, who wants to start? The guy who loves everything from DC? The guy who picks everything apart? Or the guy who screams?
Well, let's quickly just talk about the weekend box office, because as you guys alluded, critics hated this movie. It's at about a 26%.
Yeah.
Which is
And
right
that's gone
around
down
where,
12 since Thursday when we
Yes.
all saw it.
and that puts it right in line with Batman v Superman.
Oh, not even the same class, those bastards.
Right, I agree, but that did not matter because it shattered all August box office records. So obviously the fans do not agree with the critics.
Yay, fans.
Because the critics are assholes.
Well, not necessarily, but in this case, yes.
I think what happened is they're riding the backlash from Batman v Superman. People were so down on that movie, and in some cases deservedly
Yeah, but why would you
so.
take it out on none of those actors?
Well,
or-
because Batman is in this. This is still in that DC universe.
That's really immature. You
And
really
I think-
believe they do that?
Yes.
And I think
Okay.
the same happens with Marvel, but in the opposite way. There are some Marvel movies that are okay, that get a lot better reviews.
That's true.
Just because they get carried over from the good ones like Captain America or the Avengers, So I will just say my 2 cents are that this is nowhere near a 20-something%
No.
movie.
No.
And it's not a classic. It's not my favorite comic book of the movie of the year.
No.
I had some issues with it, but
No.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to any comic book fans. Mark?
Ooh.
Yes, I enjoyed it, but I had my, problems with it. Should I go into what I didn't like about it? I didn't think that I thought the pacing was off, especially at the beginning with the villain bio scene montages. It could have moved much quicker than it was.
Well, let's clarify. They were not villains in this movie. They were bad guys.
Bad guys.
Yeah.
They were
Bad
not
guys.
evil.
They were criminals.
Yes.
Right, they were
They
not
were criminals.
evil.
They
Yeah,
weren't.
this
They
is-
weren't evil.
This is bad versus evil, essentially.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I thought the dialogue could have been punched up. There was some lines in there that I just looked at and I just went, what the heck was that,
But there were some good lines when Amanda Waller comes in at the end, and Will Smith is like, "How are you still alive?"
Yeah.
Right. How are you not
Yeah,
dead?
that's it. That's it.
Yes. Yes. And anything with Amanda Waller, that Viola Davis, she was great.
She's an awesome actress. It's an awesome character. It's a perfect combination.
I thought
And
it was
there's-
going to be Oprah. It would have been much better if it was Oprah.
Well, I don't know because I think Viola Davis embodied. Well, Oprah is like that too. But me personally, if I'm seeing Oprah doing what Viola Davis was doing, I still expect her to give Deadshot a car. Like
Thank you.
you know what I'm saying? Like I expect her to like go to his cell and say, "Check under that bunk. It's something there for you.
You get a machine gun.
You get a machine gun." Like you know what I'm saying?
You get a boomerang. You get a club. You get a.
So like and don't get me wrong, Oprah probably would have did a great job.
Oh, she's a great actress. Not
Which is
taking anything
quite
against
I
her.
only brought it up
surprising.
because there was a question of whether or not she would be an appropriate actress for that role, and I thought that was
Well, I think
insane and humorous, and Q pretty much summed it up.
Well, I think her name was in the running.
No,
Right,
it was,
that's
it
why
was,
I made the comment.
it was going to be her, Viola Davis, or the other lady from The Help that won the Oscar.
Oh,
Octavia Spencer.
Spencer.
So those were the three.
she would have been good too.
So
Viola
now,
Davis
not
turns
as
out.
good.
Now-
but
One thing I liked about Viola Davis was those eyes of hers. She had
Yes.
just like dead eyes.
yes,
Her eyes she didn't blink. She just had that black eyes that just was just.
and it's
Yeah.
like to me, it was like they all kind of represented different incarnations of Amanda Waller, because we know in the comics, in the older comic books, she was a plus size woman. So Octavia Spencer and Oprah would have fitted that. Or they with them picking
Yeah.
Viola Davis, they went for the new 52 version, which she slimmed down. Now, whether she does the action like Amanda Waller in the new 52 is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
But as of right now, they kind of gave her the build of the new 52 with the way they portrayed her in the original comic books, which is more of behind the scenes kind of person. She's like the Nick Fury. Everybody owes her favors.
the evil Nick Fury.
Yeah, everybody owes her favors. Well, she's not
There's
evil.
an
She's
evil
just.
Nick Fury.
She's just.
She shot those
She's
interns.
evil. Come on, she's
No,
evil.
and I'm gonna tell you.
She's
I'm gonna
If
tell
there's
you.
one evil person in that movie, it's her.
That's
I'm
why
gonna
the
tell you why
Suicide
she's
Squad
not-
looks good in comparison.
Comparison to her, right? But I'm gonna tell you why to me. But that's just her. That's just something she would do, though. She just doesn't believe in the fact that superheroes. Why put our? What happens if Superman turns evil? We need somebody to
I
stop
think
him.
there was about 14 issues.
Okay, yes.
All right, well let's let Mark finish up.
I'm
his,
sorry, Mark.
his
Go ahead
critiques
with
of
your
the,
critique.
Oh yeah,
I
pros and
apologize.
cons. I like the scenes with Batman, of course.
But he's the
Ben Affleck.
goddamn Batman.
Yeah, that's a great Batman. I like the scenes between the Joker and Harley Quinn. I thought those were all great scenes. Not enough Joker in the movie.
I think that's one of the biggest complaints from the critics is that the Joker was so heavily featured in all the marketing, and he's really a minor character in this movie.
But he's not a major character in any of the
The books.
the
He's
Suicide
only
Squad
in there.
stories.
Right. He's
yeah,
only
but you
in
have to
there.
remember the critics are not comic book readers.
Well, then get
They're-
him some books and tell him to shut the
they're
fuck up and
they're
read.
basing this on the movie that they saw, not any of the old
right,
issues.
but if they never saw a trailer,
The movie it would have been
they
fine.
you're saying they're complaining and they panned it because they had an expectation of Joker.
Well, Jared Leto gives one of the best performances in the movie, and unfortunately, he's also one of the smallest roles in the movie.
Right, because in the comic, in the new 52, Joker and Harley Quinn aren't even together. Harley Quinn and Deadshot are a couple.
Which they kind of
Which they
were
played up
building
on.
They
a little
alluded
bit.
to.
They were
Right.
flirting toward that
Right.
in the movie.
So technically, the Joker wasn't supposed to be in the movie as much.
Well, if he didn't escape from jail at the beginning of the movie, he wouldn't have been in it at all.
That's true too.
Well, I think the problem is that they put the cart before the horse, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They set up this awesome Joker character for future movies,
Right.
And he unwittingly kind of stole the show from the Suicide Squad.
So so I get what Denver's saying though. Denver's saying that they advertised the Joker, and he really was like how when they advertised the Watchmen as an action movie, and then when it came out, you're like, well, where the fuck is the action?
In here,
Right,
pointing to his head, he said.
right. But then that's why in the second weekend it was like.
So I think it was
it's not
more
an
of a
action movie.
disappointment. Like, oh, Jared Leto was so good. I wanted to see more of
But
him.
the-
I wish he was a main
That's-
character.
and I understand that, but the rest of the movie was just as good. The rest of the character, everyone played their characters very well.
Yes, I agree. Not as well as Jared Leto.
I don't
but-
think we saw enough of some of the characters, like Boomerang. I didn't see enough of him.
He was
I
obnoxious.
agree, but I also believe that, like I was telling Denver the other day, that Jai Courtney, it was perfect for him because the scenes he was in with everybody, he stole those scenes. But I honestly think that they would have put more focus on him. You would have been more like, damn, man, I think he kind of fucked that up.
Well,
like,
we didn't
you
see
know
enough
what I'm
scenes with
saying?
him using his boomerangs.
That's true too, and I agree with you on that.
using them
That
as,
I
like,
agree with
hand
you.
weapons,
Yeah, and I
but
agree
not
with you on
throwing
that.
weapons.
Right.
Right.
Which I wanted to see a scene or two with him using
Well,
those.
I think that might come in the Flash movie.
Yes, they're totally setting him up
For the
for
Flash
the
movie.
Flash movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because why else include the Flash in this?
Exactly.
So are they going to be using the Flash movie sort of like a flashback? No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
wonder-
there was a pun intended.
Captain Boomerang can,
he can be the bad guy in the Flash.
Yeah, have
but
a
he's going to have to
run-in.
get out of prison then.
Well, I think the Flash
it's
is
not
going
that
to be
difficult to
right.
write that into the
But I think the
story.
Flash is going to be before the events of the Suicide Squad.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're going to
I
be
think it's
before
gonna
the
be.
events of the Suicide Squad. I feel like the Flash.
That's going to get confusing because Wonder Woman comes before everything.
Well,
and-
no.
Even that scene
Wonder
with Boomerang
Woman,
when he's robbing the bank and
Wonder
the
Woman-
Flash stops him, that
Right.
could be incorporated in the movie of the Flash movie.
right?
That scene
Well,
alone.
Wonder Woman is technically set way before any of
100
this.
years.
No, but that's what I mean. Is
So-
every movie going to be in a different chronology? I
No,
mean,
no, they're all going to be.
Until
I feel
Batman
like
gets them all together.
Yeah, but Batman's getting them together in the next movie.
in the Justice League.
Yeah.
Well, he
Well, the Wonder Woman movie is an origin movie.
right.
What brings her on the scene, it was with
no, I understand, but what I'm saying is Marvel
Steve
does
Trevor.
a pretty
Steve Trevor,
good
thank you.
job. The
Well,
only time
Marvel
it's gone
does-
out of order was with Captain America. But
But
every
no,
other
Captain
movie
America
they've gone in
technically,
chronological
no,
order.
Captain America was still in order too. Even though it was set in the 40s, the last credit scene put it in order.
what?
The after credit scene of Captain America put
When
it
he's in New York.
chronological order.
When he was like he had
Exactly
a date.
when he woke up. Right. That scene put it in chronological order.
Technically, I mean,
So because they're doing the Justice League first, I think that what they're gonna do is like how they did the Suicide Squad. The first 5-10 minutes, you're gonna see how it happened, how they got their powers.
let's talk about that
And
because,
then-
like Mark said, I thought that was done very clumsily. It looked cool. The graphics that
Right.
they used was awesome, but let's look at how you do it properly. Guardians of the Galaxy introduced all of the team members very organically in the context of the story as it unfolded. Suicide Squad is
Well-
basically like, hey, everybody, here's our characters. Let's get this party started, you know.
But they didn't. It was in context of Waller trying to sell the team to the people who were going to finance
Right.
it.
Technically, it
That's
was a
why
briefing.
it was told that way.
It
She was telling the
lazy
story.
writing is why it was told.
I'll
that
give
way.
you that, but it was theoretically in context.
So they made it work, but that doesn't necessarily mean it
Oh, it
was.
wasn't the best way to do
my
it,
biggest
but-
thing was those scenes should have been quicker. They those scenes were just too long. I think they should have had those scenes snap out real quick. That whole bio scene thing should have been cut down or sped up.
Well, I
Just-
think
just
the
it
only
was
ones
in the
that drug
direction.
out, to me, the only ones that drug were the Captain Boomerang ones. Drug out. I think the, like I said, I think the Deadshot and the Harley Quinn were drug out, but those were the two main characters, so you couldn't snap those. You couldn't quickly get those two out because they were the two the movie was pretty much focused around.
Well, and that's the other complaint that I think most critics have had is who is the main character? It's a poorly constructed movie in the sense that there's really no central character to see the movie through. I mean, technically, the way it's written now, Amanda Waller is the main character.
Right.
It should have been
Which-
Rick Flag.
That would have been good. I mean, my personal favorite, who Quasi was the main character, was Deadshot.
Right.
And they should have committed to that. They should have told the story through the eyes of Deadshot. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have other scenes without him.
Right.
But, was he the leader of the group? Was he, just there, along for himself?
They
Well, I
made
think-
him out to
well,
be
you know,
less
the
of
whole
a bad guy because he killed only bad guys, right?
Yes.
So,
Right.
so he
Well,
wasn't
you
really a
know.
bad guy. He was a Punisher.
Right.
DC's answer to Punisher.
No, because he still killed just because
assassin.
he was an assassin for
pay.
hire.
Yeah, but
He's
he
not
killed
a
only
bad
guys.
no.
Yeah, he
no.
says, I don't kill
I don't-
women, I don't kill
Well,
children.
just because he don't kill women and children, that don't mean he kills men that only commit evil.
We've only seen him kill quote unquote bad guys.
Well, no, the first guy he killed, just because he was a snitch for the mob, doesn't mean he was a good guy.
Well, he was a snitch for the mob. He was in the mob.
But
he
that
was a
means
bad
he
guy.
was.
So the point is, they were trying to soften up Deadshot and they gave him the kid that was a central
Well,
part
he
of
has
his
a kid in the
character.
comic book.
Well,
Right, but they could have.
But it is anything you see him in.
No,
So
you
they left
can't
him
write
open
that out.
for
That's
redemption.
his
But
backstory.
but that's a huge part of his character.
Right, you
No,
cannot
but-
write out that
Listen.
part. That is him.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying.
It took too
Writing
long.
101. They could have just said, "Oh yeah, he has a kid," and not dwelt on it. Okay.
No,
The
you
whole-
had.
no,
they-
you're missing the
I mean,
point.
I understand why they did it. They're trying to see. There's a part in it where he says he doesn't love, right?
Which
There-
we know is a lie because he
Right,
loves his
exactly,
daughter.
because
Right.
he's in denial, and it isn't until the end of the movie
right.
where
But no,
he
listen,
realizes
you're
that
going
he
on
has
and
to.
on for no reason. Is he the main
He's
character
going
or
on.
not?
I'm just making little
No,
comments.
you're saying he
I've
writes
said
out
the least.
the daughter. You can't write out
No,
the
this
daughter
is-
because the daughter is leverage for him being on the squad.
I know, but that's why it's a badly written movie. Is my whole point. Is he the main character or not? Guardians of the Galaxy. Peter Quill is most certainly the main
Right.
character in that
Right,
movie.
you missed the point he's making.
Is
Is there
there
is no
no-
central protagonist in a
So
movie.
it was like they tried to make Deadshot the central character,
Like
by
after the
focusing-
fact,
right?
they-
so it was
they
like
queered it,
in
yeah.
editing. They were like, "Oh shit, who's our main character? Oh well, let's make Deadshot."
right
Will Smith
because he
he's
got the
biggest
most screen
star
time.
Anyway.
He got the most
Right.
screen time.
Yeah, so I just think that's one of the reasons why people don't like it. They don't have anyone that they can kind of identify with and who kind of took them through the story. Is it Amanda Waller? Is it
And he's
maybe
also-
Harley
But to
Quinn?
And
me,
he's the
they're
only
all-
one. He's the only one of the group that could have a possible redemption story.
Correct. Yeah, he was the only one that wasn't, like you're saying, really a bad guy. I mean,
He wasn't crazy.
Right.
But the El Diablo
Wasn't
wasn't
genetically
crazy
altered.
Yeah, and he
wasn't a
kind of
metahuman.
spoke for the audience when the great Amanda Waller line. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, you're fucking alive, and he says exactly what I
Right.
was thinking. You know.
Right.
So had the movie been better, it would have focused on Deadshot, made him the main character, told the story through his eyes, and it would have been a great movie. Right now, I think it's a really good movie.
And he might get his own movie out of this.
I'd see that. I mean, Will Smith is awesome. That's an awesome character, especially if they go,
While he's still young.
especially if they do a Harley Quinn and Deadshot thing.
Right. Well, we'll see. I don't know because Joker broke her out at the end.
So maybe he goes and rescues her.
Well, we don't know that they actually left. He could have just come in for a visit.
A conjugal visit and then left.
Well, I don't know if we know if they've.
Well,
ever
that would
had
defeat the
sex.
purpose of him saying, "Let's go home."
Well, maybe that's their like.
Maybe penis is his home.
That's
his nickname.
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
their code name for "Let's get it on." Let's go home.
You guys just don't make it easy.
Wasn't that
do
what
you?
that song is? Take me home tonight.
Yeah, Eddie
Isn't that
Money.
about sex, right? No.
Oh, nothing. I'm sorry.
All right. So, Mark, did you have any other? I know you weren't a fan of the Zool like.
the Ghostbusters ripped off style ending. Nah, and I, like you were saying earlier that you were talking about how it was two different movies. They had
Yeah,
this
the first
gritty,
half was
gritty
very
kind of movie, and then
a
you got
crime
this
story,
supernatural
and
story.
then it shifts gears all of a sudden to this. Yeah, this kind of.
I wasn't a fan of that ending. No.
Although again, Will Smith as Deadshot said exactly what I was thinking when he's like, "You mean we're gonna go to the giant trash circle in the sky?"
Right.
And I was like, "That's exactly what it looks like. That's exactly what I was
That's exactly
thinking."
what it was.
And that's why I love that character so much. I just wish they had done more with him. That's all. And maybe it's because I'm a Will Smith fan and he's always the star of every movie
Yeah.
that he's in. You expect him
But I don't think
to be the main
he
character.
was the main. I think, like you said before, Viola Davis, or I think at some point throughout the movie, in this section it was Viola Davis. In this section it was
Who's
Rick
the
Flag.
star in the
this
Avengers
section-
movie? If it's a movie
Right,
about a
that's not-
team,
right.
hold on a minute. It's a movie about a team. The team is the star. So
It is
And in the Avengers, it's
movie
usually
about?
Robert Downey Jr.
no in the
that's because
original.
he's got better lawyers than
In
everybody
the
else.
original Avengers movie, it is without a doubt, no argument about it. Nick Fury is the main character in the Avengers, and if you guys are going to go through scene by scene, I'll show you
no,
exactly
I'll take that.
how that is.
I'll take that. But my only point is that
Now,
Well, we don't really
Is
know.
Nick Fury
it's all
most-
speculation.
the main character is not always the most entertaining or the most action
No, but
oriented.
it's a central point for you to hold on to,
Right.
to take all the pins
Because what does Nick
and-
Fury want? He wants to assemble the Avengers, and so it's really about him getting the Avengers all together. And then once they're together, he has to get them to act like a team and get coordinated. And so what does he do? He fakes.
Then Amanda
Coulson's
Waller
death.
is the central character of Suicide Squad,
Right,
based
and
on
the-
that logic.
Well, that's the problem, though. She's not really.
Because she's not likable.
Right.
Samuel L. Jackson,
Well,
no
just
matter
because
what he
a
does,
character
is
isn't
really
likable.
likable.
But just because a character isn't likable, that doesn't mean they're not. the
Telling
main character.
superpowered people that they're puny and useless and they better do what you're bidding or you're going to fuck them up is really endearing, and that's both characters. Both characters.
Just saying.
I mean, I totally
just
see.
saying.
I totally see where you're going.
Well, no, I get what
And
he's
it could have
saying,
been
but I'm
better.
saying,
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I
well,
thought
let's-
the movie was really
Okay,
entertaining.
so speaking of that, tell us what you liked about the movie. What was your favorite parts?
I liked the little vignettes in the beginning because I didn't have a chance to read 1,000 books before I watched the movie. I knew about Croc, and I knew about the girl, and I knew about the gunman, but I never even heard of Diablo. And the schmuck that gets his head popped off at the end, I didn't even know he existed. I never even heard of him.
Slipknot.
Slipknot.
It was at the beginning, actually.
yeah.
Well, but you notice there was no lead in for him. There was no vignette for
they
him.
didn't want to waste setup time.
Right, exactly.
But because he always dies.
Because he's stupid and he got tricked into fucking killing himself.
right.
But where that was a good bit of writing is they also introduced Katana late into the story.
Right, but
So if
she
you're
wasn't.
thinking-
She wasn't a criminal.
No, but if-
she worked for the team.
Right, but if Slipknot was dispendable because we just were introduced,
Oh.
it kind of makes you think, oh, okay, is Katana going to bite it? And then she,
Right. We
you know.
really kind of expected her to.
Yeah, so it kind of puts you on edge with that character. So I
Right.
thought that was a good example of some solid, good
Right.
writing. you
I mean,
know.
and there was.
I liked her in Tarantino's movie better.
What Tarantino movie?
None. Just looked like some
Kill
out of a
Bill
Tarantino-
reject.
She looked
Yeah,
like some
right,
out of a
exactly.
Tarantino movie.
She
She
looked
was
like
one of
Lucy
the,
Liu after Uma cut the top of her head off because she was shorter. So I liked. I guess there were parts that I didn't like of the movie, but I think I'm blocking them out right now. Although I know for sure that they were there. Unless I go to see the movie again, I won't remember what they are, and by then nobody will care.
I will.
So tell us what you
okay.
liked about
What
it.
did I like about it? I liked the snappy banter. I liked the fact that almost all the Croc lines,
he was
man of
great.
little words,
He was
and
great.
after 3/4 of the way through, Amanda Waller says something absolutely utterly rude and scary, and he just said, "I like her."
And he wanted BET.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When he was negotiating for what did he want after all was said and done, and that's what he wanted.
Is there were they setting up an Amanda Waller Killer Croc?
That's just so.
no.
That's just so
That's so wrong.
That is so
That
wrong.
is terrible.
Now there could be a Killer Croc and Aquaman thing because Croc was
that's
your underwater man for certain.
Yeah,
They could have spent a little more time on that. It was all very muddy as far as that went. I really liked the Diablo character.
When he transforms at the end, I
Into
thought
he
that
says,
was
"You haven't
awesome.
seen what I am."
Yes,
and
that was
I'll
great.
show you what I am. And he goes in there and goes to kick the brother's ass.
Yes.
That was he almost looked like in Coco Pelli, that kind of Aztec,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
As
that's
some
what it
kind of
was.
Aztec god, even though Coco Pelli's a party god. But at any rate, I like that part. I actually liked Cara Delevingne.
Ava Devanue.
It's
or-
not Cara.
No, it's Kara.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
Cara
of the
Delevingne. She's
The only
cute. I didn't like the Dr. Moon character. I liked the sorceress character, and I thought it was a shame that they had to obliterate her.
Yeah.
Because what we find out in the end when Waller hands over the files that she has to Bruce Wayne, she's on the first page, which meant, hey, wait a minute. We could have used that. We could have had another, and it's all gone.
Well, the one thing I didn't like about her performance is when she's doing that crazy dance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
kind of like, what the hell movie is this? You know.
Well, but
Right.
it was I'm assuming it was a South American.
yeah, she
they
was
were-
trying to, conjure the spirits or the
Right.
energy or whatever. It just
Yeah.
to me, it just
Well,
looked
that
a
was-
little
I wouldn't mind a
comical.
private dance of that.
Yeah, it was a little over the top, but if you're a megalomaniac, if
She was
that's-
doing what she wanted because
Right.
she wanted to. So
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
I understand. It just
It was over the top.
yeah. And the other thing I didn't like about that character was the kind of these faceless creatures that she was creating.
Oh, that was-
they just seemed
that was
kind of
disgusting.
generic
Those acne
and
creatures.
boring. Yeah, pimple face is what.
Yeah, well, yeah, like little bubbles of whatever. I thought they were
Blackheads.
eyes. I thought they were all
Yeah,
eyes.
that's kind of what it looked like.
Because I'm sure there's a part you'll see in the scenes afterwards that she could see 360 out of
You know what
out of the
I was hoping
creatures.
that the bad guys were, because when this all was going down and that brother was created, at first I was thinking, when I show the back of him, I was like, hey, is that Steppenwolf from Apocalypse? That's what I thought it was
Oh,
going to be.
yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, they're bringing in the alien factor into this whole storyline. And I
That's
thought,
funny.
okay, this is where this is all going. This whole DC universe is going against, it's getting interstellar.
I think an alien would have gone over better than.
Yeah, and it would have been cool if it had something to do with the mother boxes and Apocalypse.
Well, we could have
Not the
known more
supernatural
about
thing.
those. Where did they come from? And she makes some interesting comments to her brother about they don't worship us anymore. They worship machines, and that's why she was going to use a machine to destroy them. But somewhere along the lines, there was a they've been here longer than anybody else has been here. How did they get here? We didn't find out anything about them, even when they had a perfect opportunity to give us some background. I think it was a ripoff, though, that they used her to con the Joint Chiefs of Staff to give them financing when she translocated and stole something for them that they've been trying to get their hands on. And they're like, okay, finance it. And she was controllable at that moment, and yet 2 days later she was not controllable, and Amanda Waller is perforating the shit out of her heart with a ballpoint pen. I thought the movie really was in danger of losing all verisimilitude at all, because at this point now we can't believe anything they're going to tell us, because clearly that was a lie. And then when the brother says, where's your heart? And he somehow lends his power to her. It's like, well, then she never needed a fucking heart in the first place. It was again bad writing. So I guess
it
like
just-
I said,
if
if
you remember,
you
she did say we were going to share his power, so maybe he had to recharge her in between the scenes that we didn't.
I think the problem is they just cut too many corners. Had they spent a little bit
well,
more
they
time
only gave him
fleshing
6
it
weeks
out,
to write the script.
and it kind of shows.
Yeah.
I think,
and it took 2
unfortunately.
years to advertise the crap out of it to make us want to see it.
Well, I think the other reason why people maybe were a little bit harder on the the reviews
Yeah.
was that the trailer was awesome. It was one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. So I think it built up expectations.
All the trailers were
so
good.
high.
Right, but
Even
like
that Comic-Con
like
trailer from
I
last
said,
year.
I didn't say it on camera because there was no reason to tell anybody at that point. But all of those trailers were mashups. Almost none of what you saw in the chronological order of the trailer actually happened in the movies at the time that they did it.
Yeah, most trailers are out of context, but I think you were talking more about the fact that there was a lot of deleted scenes that were in the trailer,
almost
not
nothing
included
that
in the movie.
almost nothing in the
yeah, I remember,
trailers
like-
was actually in the movie.
Like at the beginning of the trailers, you show them all in prison, right? And it's all the scenes from when they were in prison at the end of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was all crazy. The bar scene, almost 60% of the bar scene they showed in the trailers was not in the movie,
Yeah,
except that there was a bar scene in the
Right.
movie.
right.
Now, again, I stand behind the entertainment value of the movie
It's a
because
fun
I
movie,
didn't
yeah,
want to
no
pick
one's-
it apart. I wanted to go in with no expectation, and there was enough, like I said, there's enough phaser fire, there's enough bullet casings, enough beatings, and enough TNA that I was entertained. It was an action movie, and I rated it high based on belly laughs and action. If you really want me to pick it apart, it's a fucking 2. Don't make me do that because I don't want to not like this movie because I
You didn't have
really
any problem
like
when
the
it came
movie.
to Civil War picking it apart.
I fucking hate that movie, and everybody associated with it should die in an ash heap. Fuckers made me read 97 fucking episodes of comic books.
No,
They didn't stick to the fucking story.
No one made you read it. You
They
decided
did.
to do
Yeah,
that.
Read it. Yeah, see.
Did DC make you go read every variation of Suicide Squad out there?
No.
Okay, well, there we go.
Yeah, well,
All right.
I don't read DC.
All right, Q, our DC aficionado.
Not since I was a kid, anyways.
We know you loved it. Tell us
I hated it.
Tell us what you liked about
I
it.
hated it.
We totally turned it.
It was so terrible. They didn't do anything, and then they didn't. There was no main character. And what else you were bitching about? That too.
I liked it. I give it 12 thumbs up.
Definitely not enough Batman, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not enough Batman. That's why I give it a 2. But no, I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give it a.
Is it better than the Ultimate Edition of Superman vs. Batman?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
7, between 7.
I'm
and 8.
hearing that there is like another cut of this movie. I heard this was a Warner Brothers cut, but there is a David Ayer cut.
Well, what I read was, yes, the same thing. There was a director's cut, and then the studio
cut.
turned it over to this production house who cut it.
Right. That's what you were
And
saying.
they tested it, and this is kind of a fusion of the two.
Of the two. So when this Blu-ray comes out, we'll have 4 discs in there instead of 3.
Huzzah!
We'll have 3. We'll have the studio version, the director's version, and the theatrical version.
Exactly.
So they can milk it.
Cash grab.
That's right.
Of course. I liked it. I loved Amanda Waller.
I mean, I think across the board, all the characters, all the actors did a great job. Now, some didn't get enough screen
No, they
time, but you
didn't.
can't give that to everybody,
And I am happy that Batman didn't put away all of them, all the villains.
It would have, that would have been too
because that would,
formulaic,
that would have been too much. You get what I'm saying?
Well, Captain Boomerang isn't Batman's arch enemy.
No, he's not. But for some reason, DC has a way of involving Batman within.
Well, yeah,
everything.
he's
'Cause
clearly
he's-
the most popular.
Yeah, he's Batman.
All the best villains are Batman villains.
That's true too. But I'm interested to see where it go because they spoiler alert killed off El Diablo, and I'm like, there's
Or
gonna
did
be
they?
or
You don't
did
know
they?
that. They blew him up. He was a fire god. He was a fire god. You don't know that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He
Could take time to recoalesce. He could have gone back to wherever he was.
Deadshot would be like, why am I so ashy?
Yeah, right.
Brush him off, and there he'll be.
There you go. Killer Croc's lines, really good. The banter between Deadshot, Rick Flag, and Amanda Waller, those 3
That was
together
great. Yes.
was
Yep.
amazing. To me, Amanda, she stole the show. Viola Davis, because she was so much like the character that it was just. I mean, it's
Well,
like
you love to hate her. She's a
yeah,
great villain.
Yeah, like she comes in and you're like, she's talking to the joints, to the people at the table, and she's like, "Yeah, I found a hole and just threw away the hole." And it's like that's some shit. I have my talent is getting people to do things for me that they don't want to do. This is just stuff she says, So I like that about it. I like the movie as a whole. I love Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah, he was great.
I love.
Can't wait to see him go up against Batman.
Man, I
in a
loved his
feature. That's
Joker.
gonna be good.
Um,
My favorite part of the movie was when Deadshot jumped up on that car and just started taking
Taking
all
all-
those
yes.
Right,
minions.
right,
And they're all like-
Flag's team has pretty much perforated a police car beyond an inch of its life, hasn't killed a thing. He gets sick and tired of it, jumps up, and single-handedly,
Wipes
one
them all
shot at a time, kills them all.
That was
and they're all
awesome.
just sitting there. All the guns are down, and they're like, watching them, quizzical face, going, "Holy fuck! I guess you don't want to be on the wrong side of this guy with a gun." Yeah, yeah, that was a great scene.
I enjoyed it overall. I give it an 8.
Yeah, and I liked it because there was enough scenes like that
Yes.
with Deadshot where, you kind of forgave any of the inconsistencies and the little things here and there, So, yeah, I think it was a lot of it the negative reaction had to do with expectations. I think if you kind of go in there with a clean slate, you'll have a
Especially
really good
the
time.
post-credit scene with
Let's talk
Bruce
about
Wayne
that.
and Amanda Waller. That was really good. They're sitting at the table, and he gets the folder, and she says, "You look tired. You should stop working nights." He said, "And you should shut it down, or me and my friends will do it for you." I just love that because that's them.
Is that going to be is that setting up a Suicide Squad versus the Justice League?
And see, that's what I was going back to your point with you were saying you wish that it was an alien that they were fighting instead of the Enchantress. Then how do they fit into the Justice League? So you're going to make a Justice League movie where they're fighting Darkseid without the Suicide Squad? You get what I'm saying? You can't set them up to fight Darkseid and then have a Justice League movie without them fighting Darkseid.
Identify your antecedents, please.
No, Mark had made a comment.
He's saying that they shouldn't be fighting aliens if the Justice League are going to do it, right?
Right. They should be taking on a different entity. But
Unless maybe they are teaming up.
They could. I would like to see it, but I mean,
That
we
would
still
be
got
cool.
2 Justice League movies, and they're gonna make a sequel.
Kind of like the Infinity Wars. They're going to have
All those
Guardians
characters
of the
in there.
Galaxies with the Avengers and all
Right,
the other characters.
right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
cool.
still feel like they're gonna run out of money for that, but I just feel it's gonna happen.
You
They're
think
gonna
by the
run out of
time they
money.
do Infinity Wars, they'll have the rights for Fantastic Four?
No, because
Actually, yes. Here's the latest gossip.
Yeah.
Fox is supposedly giving the Avengers or giving Marvel back Fantastic Four in exchange for the television rights to the X-Men. So that way Fox, their only Marvel property will be the X-Men universe, and that will be for both TV and film. Right now they only have the film rights. They do not have the TV rights.
that's a dumb trade.
So there is
for Fox, I feel like they could
Fox
get
has
more.
not made
No.
money with
I'm
the,
saying
with
I
the
feel like
Fantastic Four.
Fox, because with what Marvel's doing right now, the Fantastic Four are a lot more important to Marvel than they are to Fox, and I feel like Fox could get a lot more for the Fantastic Four.
But they
than what
can't
they're
do
getting.
anything for Fantastic Four.
No. It's not about the fact that they can do anything for them or not. They can make another crappy ass movie and keep the rights for 5 more years.
Well, just think about how many X-Men TV shows they can now make.
That's true.
I mean,
but
it's going to
at
be the floodgates are going to open.
But at the same point, now you're
Let's
stuck
do a
with
what if
the
now.
X-Men.
Marvel gets Fantastic Four. They should probably just start them off or have their origin stories already done.
Well, there's an untitled 2020 Marvel movie on the slate, and everyone's expecting that that's going to be
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
And they should get George Clooney to play Fantastic.
That would be good. That would be
I
good.
think they should get. He's born to play Mr. Fantastic. The look. Even though he's
He
older,
fucked up Batman.
Now, will
but
they
would
br-
he do it? Would he do it is another question. But they can make him look a little younger.
I just want to see a scene between Captain America and whoever they're going to get to play Johnny Storm.
That would be
get him to play both.
Get him to play, right? You look familiar.
Some prosthetic.
That would
yeah,
be a funny inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
you
would
look
be a good-
familiar. to
Like
me.
Ryan Reynolds with all of the Green Lantern
Yeah.
bashing and
Yeah.
Deadpool, you know.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah. So
I think that'll be
that'd be
work.
cool.
Well, who do you get to play the? I actually like the guy who played the thing in the
Michael Chilkus.
in the
Chitless.
first
Chickless.
Fantastic Four.
He was the best thing about those two
Yeah, those first
Avengers.
two. Yeah, he played that very well. And then
We'll find someone else.
Man,
I
who
mean,
does
someone
Johnny
new.
Storm?
I mean,
But
my thing was I like
So many
the
actors.
cast from the last
I
Fantastic
thought it
Four
was a
movie.
good cast.
Yeah, it was
Only
just-
person I really didn't like was Mr. Fantastic. I don't.
He wasn't that fantastic.
Well, they were too young.
It was
I thought
very
It
young
was just
cast,
too young
yeah.
cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. I hope that they get the rights to Fantastic Four because they really need them part of that universe.
As a DC, it don't matter to me, but I do too because I don't like the Fantastic Four. I just don't like the Fantastic Four.
I don't want to
just- you
see them
just
all
have-
wearing the same thing outfit either. I think that needs to change. In today's day and age, the Fantastic
that's
Four
just
don't
the
need to be all
Fantastic
wearing
Four.
the same clothes.
As long as the thing don't come out there in the underwear, I'm okay with that.
Well, if he's a big rock monster, fine,
with no junk, so of course he doesn't need underpants.
Can you imagine? I mean, what happened? How did him and Kerry Washington?
What?
Okay, but anyway,
I don't think they did.
like you said, rock slide.
All right, let's take it around the horn real quick.
TMI.
Q, you said 8 out of 10 for
8 out of 10.
Suicide Squad. Brad,
Oh, you made me have to revise my rating now because there's so many hateful things that are wrong with that movie. Darn it. 7.5.
all right, Mark.
6.5.
I'd go with about a 6.5, 7 myself. Very good. Definitely recommend seeing it.
You're this version's
just don't
Rotten
love it.
Tomatoes. I'm gonna start
Are you
calling
kidding?
you the
We're
Rotten
double.
Tomatoes.
We're double Rotten Tomatoes. What are you
Exactly,
talking
you're the
about?
Rotten Tomatoes.
Wait a minute, 6 is fresh.
60% is
Yeah,
is
60%
considered
is a
fresh.
fresh
It's
tomato.
at least a 7.
It's still fresh.
It's still a 7.
It's got a couple days of freshness left.
As long as you don't put them in the refrigerator because that'll ruin them.
Anyway,
Yeah, don't freeze your tomatoes.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I think is that the last one
What? The last
for
one?
this
what?
year? Last comic book movie.
No.
Doctor
Strange.
Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange.
I think you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you need to download this podcast over and over and over again so you can listen to it.
And buy some comic books from
Yeah.
ableideas.com.
You can go to ableideas.com and buy some comic books to support our habit of coming to you weekly on a
and smoking comic books. Oh,
No,
Is that what you meant? Buy a fat one?
Yeah,
Like a graphic
roll.
novel?
Take a graphic novel and roll it up and just light that baby up and suffocate yourself on the CO2, baby. It's delicious. I'm really loving this.
And
Oh,
we
yeah.
would like to say hi to all of our fans over in Mother Russia and in the European countries. We love you guys, and we want to say hi.
Ah,
What? Oh, right. Yet.
if he
I'm
dies, he dies. Oh, sorry. I must break you.
Ivan Drago for president.
I thought that's who was running for president.
Yeah, because he's never gonna give you
Gonna
up.
be huge.
Oh, yeah, please listen. Disregard what you've been listening to, and maybe next time we'll have something way more entertaining. Like what's going on in the month of July. Oh, wait, that's the past. Oh, wait, Back to the Future. No, that's the beer. Okay, something to look forward to. See you next time.